Hello, welcome back to the channel. So we shall continue with molecular point groups. So in two previous videos, we have just started with point groups and we had covered molecules with the low symmetries corresponding point groups, and then in the next video we had just entered into molecules with the high symmetry. In that, the three different point groups were covered in the last video. So if you have not watched those videos, it's better to watch those videos and come to this video. And please do watch the video till end, because at the end I can give you a trick or hint so that easily you can find if a molecule it goes to any of these three point groups, and otherwise it goes difficult to identify, whereas if you know that fact, on that basis you can just quickly identify the molecule whether it goes to if it comes to these 3 point groups. Just different point groups are possible. So in that, first what we check is, so this we have seen in previous videos itself, if we don't have proper axis, say axis of rotation, it's possible only 360-degree rotation, that's the C1 axis, and no higher fold axis is possible. In that case, molecule it goes to MLS, molecule with low symmetry. So there we can have three different point groups, C1, Ci and Cs. This we have seen. Then now we have entered to molecules with the high symmetry. So molecules with high symmetry, essential requirement, that molecule it should have a proper axis. It's very basic requirement. Only when a molecule it has proper axis, then it can enter into MHS. Of course, here also with proper axis, it can go to molecule with special symmetry. So this can be easily identified. We shall come to this point later. So a tricky thing it will be here, identifying the point group. I'm going to this molecule with high symmetry. This will be tricky. So first thing, if molecule it has proper axis, then only you can consider it to come to this category, molecule with high symmetry. So there also, immediately after proper axis, what we look at is, to identify the point group, we look at the perpendicular C2s. We have a Cn, to that if we have perpendicular C2s, perpendicular with respect to this. So in n number, usually it will be in n number. So those C2s, if we do not have them, then we can go with this Cn, Cnv and CnH point groups, which we have discussed in the last video. Now in today's video, we will be here itself, MHS itself, molecule with high symmetry itself. But now, so molecule with high symmetry, definitely it will have Cn, and along with this Cn, along with a proper axis, we will be having subsidiary axis of twofold, and these subsidiary axis, they will be definitely perpendicular to this original principal axis. So now when we have this, that is a proper axis along with that perpendicular C2s, then the corresponding point group it will be D point group. And now depending on the other symmetry elements that are present, it can be Dn, it can be Dnd, or it can be Dnh. And in this video, we'll be looking at examples and operations possible for these 3 point groups. Okay, let's first start with the Dn point group. This Dn point group, it is even known as dihedral. It can be even called as dihedral. And here, number of operations possible, that is nothing but order of the group. So that will be is equal to 2n. Say if you have D2, n value it is 2, then 4 operations will be possible. So double the number of this order, that will be the operations possible in that group. So H it will be is equal to 2n in this case. So which are those operations? Easily they can be listed out, not very difficult task. First one, identity, it will be there, and we have definitely proper axis, therefore n minus 1 rotations should also be possible here. And then n number of C2s. This is essential requirement. If we are telling that the point group it is D, perpendicular C2s, that is essential. So therefore these perpendicular C2s, they will also be there. They will be in n number. So therefore now total operation here, n operations from n C2 axis. Then so this is n minus 1 and identity. So totally this makes n more. So here n, totally 2n number of operations are possible in this dihedral point group. Okay, let's take some examples for this. So first example, what I'm taking is a D3 point group, and the order of this, it should be 6 because it's 2n. So totally now 6 different operations must be possible. And let's consider this example, CO ethylene diamine thrice 3 plus. So this complex, in fact, it goes to D3 point group. So it's not that easy. If we do not know the fact that this is D3 point group, it's not that easy to identify that, because we should have the clear imagination of this geometry, then only it will be possible. And now to identify the things, what we can do is we can look the molecule in a particular perspective, then it will be easy to identify symmetry elements. So in this particular case, see how I am visualizing the molecule is, this is in fact octahedral complex. This fact you know. Let's say this is cobalt, it is at center, and then these are the coordinated nitrogen atoms and ethylene diamine. So it is these two, they are linked by CH2 CH2, which has not been shown. Right now, what we can do is we can form a triangle by joining these three nitrogen atoms. So that makes a face of octahedron, in fact. So now we are visualizing the molecule from this angle. Right, from this triangular face we are observing the molecule. So at that time, octahedral complex, if it is visualized from this end, other three coordination sites or other three nitrogens, how they look is they look like an inverted triangle with respect to this. So exactly how it happens is that this nitrogen, it will be between these two nitrogens. Right, similarly this nitrogen, it will be between these two nitrogens if you are visualizing this from this end. And in fact, a lot of imagination is required to deal with symmetries, and that is to be cultivated, that is to be developed by practice. So now if we look at the molecule from this view, what we look is this. The molecule, see this upper triangle, it will be like this, and the lower triangle made up of three nitrogens, that will be this. Now relatively it's little easy to identify symmetry operations and symmetry elements present in this. Now this axis, C3 axis, which means the center point of the triangle, which passes through cobalt, and say it should be like this, that C3 axis, it will be like this, which cannot be shown here. So that is C3 axis. On that the molecule, it can be rotated to get identical orientation. So if it is rotated by 120 degree, you can observe, see this nitrogen, it comes to this position, and similarly this nitrogen, it goes to this position, this nitrogen, it goes to this position. So similarly in the triangle which is present below, there also same thing will happen, and that results in identical orientation, and that's how C3 axis is present. Right, okay. Maybe C3 we can identify, definitely it goes very difficult to identify C2 in this case, but in this molecule definitely we have perpendicular C2s. So three such C2s are present, they have been indicated. If you can see, you just consider this axis. So this axis, it is passing through cobalt. Right, now this axis, if we consider, on that the molecule, if it can be rotated by 180 degree, see what happens if I consider this itself. This nitrogen, it goes below, it's present above now, it goes below and it takes this position. Right, similarly this nitrogen which is present below, after rotating the molecule on this axis, it comes to this position, and that's how the molecule, it results in identical orientation. Other sites also same thing, other nitrogens also they come to equivalent position itself. So molecule, it will result in equivalent orientation if we rotate the molecule on this axis. So it's not just one axis, one such C2 axis, and whenever this perpendicular C2s are there, always it can be kept in mind that if one you can identify, definitely it should be an n in number. So this is C3 axis, therefore three C2 axis should be present, and this is one, this is the second one, and this is the third one. So these three C2s are also present, and no other symmetry elements or symmetry operations that are possible on this molecule. So therefore it's identity n-1 rotations on a proper axis, and perpendicular C2s, which should lead the molecule to D3 point group. So we shall see this in animations, that definitely how these operations will bring back the molecule to original orientation, that point will be clear. Okay, this is the molecule. Okay, now see C3 axis, it has been identified. So the molecule geometry, in fact it is octahedral. Now this nitrogen and this nitrogen and this nitrogen, so you can make a triangle out of that, and center of that triangle, that will serve as C3 axis. So let me show C3 operation now. On this axis, if I can rotate the molecule, say by an angle, it's showing anti-clockwise rotation, but doesn't matter, clockwise as well as anti-clockwise. So this is clockwise rotation. So this is a symmetry operation. So therefore C3 axis is existing for this molecule. Now, so along with this C3 axis, three perpendicular C2 axis, they are also present. See, three C2 axis, all these C2 axis which have been identified now, those are C2 axis. Maybe just on one such C2 axis I can show you the C2 operation. So it's better viewed like this along the C2 axis. So just C2 axis I keep. Okay, let me rotate the molecule on this axis. So if I rotate the molecule on this C2 axis from some other angle, this is the molecule, it will come back to equivalent orientation. Therefore C2 axis, that's also a symmetry element, and 3 such C2 axis they are existing for this molecule, remaining 2. So and therefore now one C3 axis, along with that n number of, that is 3 C2 perpendicular axis. Therefore this molecule, it should go to the point group D3. The next example for the same point group Dn is D5. So D5, as it was mentioned earlier, its order, it should be 2n, so therefore 10 operations should be possible. So which are those that can be listed easily, not that difficult? E, and on C5 axis 4 different operations are possible, which can be listed as C5U1, C5U2, C5U3 and C5U4. And by definition, if it is D, definitely it should have n number of C2s perpendicular to principal axis. So therefore 5 C2s we can expect. And one example for this D5, it's ferrocene. See, this molecule ferrocene, it can occur in different conformations. So now ferrocene in its skew conformation or its twisted conformation. So twisted means you should try to understand that. Say this is a cyclopentadienyl ring in case of ferrocene. So if this carbon atom, and on the back ring we will be having 2 cyclopentadienyl rings in a ferrocene compound. So structure of ferrocene all of us know. So if those 2 they are exactly one above the other, then it will be eclipsed, right? Say one, it is here on front ring, the second one it is here on the front ring, and on the back ring exactly between these 2 carbon atoms, the carbon atom of the back ring, if it comes to this position, you can just follow my laser pointer. So if it comes to this position, then it will be said to be staggered conformation. So in case of eclipsed conformation between these 2, if I call it as dihedral angle, that angle it will be 0, right? And if it is staggered, exactly whatever angle is to be followed, so that angle, I think it's 108 by 2, I hope it to be 54 degree, I suppose so. So you can just check it. So 54 degree if it is maintained, if I am not wrong, so then that will lead the molecule to staggered conformation. Otherwise, any other angle, any other dihedral angle between these 2 atoms, that lead the molecule to skew conformation or twisted conformation. So this conformation, twisted conformation of ferrocene, so that will have a proper axis. This can be easily identified, it's not that difficult. So it's passing through iron. Here it is not shown, it's just shown the rotation. So on this axis the molecule, it can be rotated in this way. So C5 axis exactly, so it's projecting towards you from the plane and away from the plane. So that axis it is. So on that the molecule, it can be rotated by corresponding angle 360 divided by 5. So on that angle the molecule, it can be rotated, and we'll get the molecule in identical orientation. It will come to 72 degree. So the C5 axis angle of rotation, it should be 72 degree, and if it is 72, the staggered angle, it should correspond to half of that, that is 36. Earlier I had mentioned it to be 54, so it's not 54. So from here to here it will take an angle of 72. So in staggered conformation, eclipsed conformation, these 2 angles, it should be 0 degree, and staggered conformation, exactly I said, it should be in between these 2. So that makes a dihedral angle of 36 degree. Please note this change. Fine. So such C5 axis exists, and now along with that, even C2 axis, just one such C2 axis I have shown. So you can imagine, so on this molecule, this axis, it passes through iron center, and it is perpendicular to the C5 axis. On this axis, the molecule, it can be rotated by 180 degree to get identical or equivalent orientation, not identical, equivalent orientation. So therefore the molecule, it even has C2 axis of symmetry, and 5 such C2s exist, and in total, therefore the molecule, it should go to D5. So we shall see this, how the C2 operation is possible and how C5 operation is possible in case of skew ferrocene that we shall see in 3D animation now. So this is the molecule twisted ferrocene. So where you can find this carbon atom, front carbon atom and back carbon atom, exactly they are not eclipsed. In this orientation you can clearly see that there is a little angle between these two, dihedral angle it's there, so it's not 0 degree, and not even it is in staggered conformation. If it is in staggered conformation, definitely in that case this atom, this carbon atom, it should be between these two, say somewhere in this position. So that's not even staggered, little angle is there. Now we can find C5 axis, this axis which passes through iron atom, definitely it is C5 axis. Let me rotate the molecule on this C5 axis. I'll get identical orientation, or even if I do it in clockwise direction, in any way it can be done. So the molecule, it will return to an equivalent orientation, therefore C5 axis it is existing. So along with this C5, otherwise this is little difficult to imagine, we have 5C2 axis. See all 5C2 axis, let me try to identify that. See, 5 such C2 axis they are existing. So just on one such C2 axis, let me perform the operation. See this one, now this axis, it can be considered to be C2 axis, and you can see it's exactly perpendicular to C5 axis, and such 5 C2 axis they are existing. Now I can just rotate the molecule on this axis. Maybe this is the best thing what I can do, or even I can view at a cross angle. Let me rotate the molecule by 180 degree. It will bring back the molecule to the original orientation. And 5 such C2 axis they do exist for this molecule. So essentially it's a Cn followed by n number of perpendicular C2s. So this molecule, it goes to point group D5. Okay, let's go to the next point group. So in the list it was D and D. So just to maintain uniformity, I had taken D and D in the list, but I thought of, I'm thinking to take this DNH first, and then let me go to D and D so that it will be easy to understand. So just for time being, I have skipped fifth one and I have come to the sixth one, DNH. So DNH is said to be prismatic point group, and here in this case, order of the group, that's total number of operations, that will be definitely large, will be 4n. Even if we have just n value of 2, then it will be say 8 operations. So H, it will be is equal to 4n here in this case. So therefore identifying each and every operation, that goes little tedious. But it's not necessary to identify the point group. It's not necessary that we should identify all the possible operations in the molecule. Some very essential operations if we identify, other of course they will be implied, other symmetry operations they will be implied. So what is that we shall see. See, of course, in this case, DNH E should be possible, identity should be possible, and we have a proper axis, n-1 rotation should be possible, and it is D, because of which n number of C2 should also be possible. This will be perpendicular to Cn. So along with this, very important, to make the molecule or to take the molecule to this DNH point group, there should be a plane which is perpendicular to this original Cn axis, proper axis, principal axis, whatever we have identified. To that principal axis, there should be a perpendicular plane which can be called as horizontal plane if we can fulfill this criteria. So that's principal axis, n number of perpendicular C2s, along with that a horizontal plane. Other symmetry operations, they will be automatically implied, and just these three, they are sufficient to say that the molecule, it is DNH. Right. So along with this, so many other planes will also come depending on the molecule. Those planes, they can be vertical planes or they can be even dihedral planes. So totally, except this sigma h, we can have n number of vertical and dihedral planes, and even remaining operations, there will be n-1 operations on Sn axis. So in this case, we have a proper axis and we have a perpendicular plane. So therefore we will be having, so if it is Cn axis, Sn axis, it will be definitely collinear with this. Operations whatever are possible on Sn axis, they will be the remaining operations of DNH point group. Okay, let's take the example. Very easy and most classic example, and most frequently taken example for this point group, D3H DNH. The example that I'm particularly taking is D3H, which is BF3. Easily we can identify. See, first operation that should be possible, identity, and along with that C3 axis, on this C3 axis, two operations should be possible, C31 and C32. So those have been considered here. And this is planar molecule. So therefore this plane of molecule, it is perpendicular to this axis of rotation. So therefore sigma h we have. And now the other condition or very important condition to take the molecule to D point group is perpendicular C2s. See, if you have imagined this C3, this is perpendicular to that. This BF bond is perpendicular to that. And no, this should have been C2, not C3. Please note this change. So it should have been C2. This is a perpendicular C2, and three such perpendicular C2s they do exist, right? So one, it is this, the other C2, easily it can be imagined. If I can rotate the molecule on this axis BF bond, this F it comes to this position, this F it comes to this position. So similarly, each BF bond it can serve as C2 axis. So we have identity principal axis and three perpendicular C2s, so that takes the molecule to D. Now along with that, even we have sigma h, so therefore the molecule it should be D3H, and other symmetry elements or symmetry operations that are possible. This each BF bond, if you can place a plane here, that will serve as plane of symmetry. So therefore three such planes are existing, and they can be identified as sigma v's by the definition. So therefore three sigma v's do exist, and this axis C3 axis, it is even serving as S3 axis. On that two operations they will be possible, S31 and S32. So a total of 12 operations should be possible. So you can just count this. So D3H3 into 4, 12 operations. So 1, 2, 3, 3 operations are possible. 3 more, it's 6. 3 more, it's 9. Then 10, 11, 12. Total of 12 operations that are possible in this point D3H. So we shall see the animations, all operations possible on this molecule. So this is the planar molecule BF3. As we have discussed, this goes to the point group D3H. So for D3H, first it should have a C3 axis. It can be easily identified. This is C3 axis on which the molecule it can be rotated by an angle 120 degree. So let me, this is not C3 rotation. So the molecule it can be rotated by clockwise or anti-clockwise. So it will give back the equivalent orientation. So C3 axis is present. Now if it goes to D, definitely it should have perpendicular C2s, and see all three perpendicular C2s they have been identified. Each this BF bond it serves as a C2 axis. Now just for convenience, let me take one such C2 axis. See, on this axis the molecule it can be rotated by 180 degree to get identical orientation. Of course this is the easiest to imagine. So three such C2s they are present, so therefore it is a D. Now this molecule, even it has sigma h, it can be easily understood. The plane of the molecule, this itself will be sigma h for this molecule. So therefore now this molecule it will go to D3H. But along with this, some implied presence, it implies, so these many minimum elements, that implies presence of some other symmetry elements and operations. As you can see, three vertical planes along BF bond, so those are also existing for this. And now this C3 axis, it is even said to be collinear with S3 axis. So C3 rotation followed by sigma h, that is also symmetry operation for that, for this. So therefore let me just show you one operation. See, this is C3 followed by sigma now, so that will leave the molecule in identical orientation. Sigma h, definitely here it's not possible to visualize it, but that is definitely a symmetry operation. So therefore whatever symmetry operations were listed, all those symmetry elements, they are symmetry elements as well as operations, they are present for this molecule. Okay, the next example that I am taking for this TNH is D2H point group, and H order of this, it should be 8 in this case, and easily if it is D2H, what all operations should be possible that can be listed. So E, and if it is a D2, C2 axis should be possible. One principal axis it can identify, so that will be C2, and two perpendicular C2s, so which I have identified to be C2 dash and C2 double dash. And next sigma h, it is the requirement because it is a DNH point group. Sigma h we have. Then in this case, that C2 axis it will even serve as S2 axis. So therefore S2 operation that will also be possible, and essentially that S2 operation, only one operation will be possible on S2 axis. It will be S21, and it has been mentioned previously, and definitely we shall see in future about the proof of this. S21 it can be taken as inversion center. So inversion center that also exists in this case. So now in this case, coming to the example B2H4, so how the molecule looks, or what is its geometry, that you should have idea. Otherwise it's difficult to understand. Definitely we shall see that in animation, but now in 2D this molecule, it can be better represented in this way. See these 4 atoms which I am showing now: hydrogen, this boron, this hydrogen, and this hydrogen. So these all, they are in one plane. So you can take that these all, they are in one plane, right? And then these two, they will be perpendicular to that plane. These 2 hydrogens, which are in fact, if you know the bonding in this diborane, these are 3 center 2 electron bonds, or banana bonds. These 2 banana bonds, in fact, that one banana bond, it's above the plane, the other one, it is below the plane. That is in fact the structure of the molecule. But now how I have represented this molecule is that so I have not taken the plane of the molecule. Now it is not taken to be the plane of this B2H4 unit. So the plane which I have chosen is the molecule. It is now kept in these banana bonds, whatever are there, they are in the plane of the molecule. So we are looking the molecule in this particular orientation. So definitely you understand this when I go to next animation part. So just to make things in 2D, I'm giving this. So now 3C2 axis will be possible, and definitely here now all being C2, it's difficult it's difficult to say which is principal and which is subsidiary, but usually what we take is this will be taken as plane of the molecule. So this B2H4 plane, that will be taken as sigma h. If that is taken as sigma h, this axis, it should be principal axis. So this axis, it will be perpendicular to this plane. So therefore this axis, it will be taken as principal axis. Other 2 axes, so if this is principal, the second axis, it is this. Third axis, so it is this. On that third axis, the molecule, it can be rotated in this way. So it's little difficult to understand the things here, but definitely we see this in animation, then it will be clear to you. And total number of operations, if you can list, definitely all these 8 operations, they are possible in case of this molecule. So therefore this B2H4, it goes to the point group D2H. Let's say its animations. So this is the molecule B2H6, as you can see. So these 2 BH2 units, they are in one plane, whereas these 2 3 center 2 electron bonds, or banana bonds, those 2 hydrogens which are involved in a banana bond, they are in perpendicular plane. So now one axis I have identified. This you can take it as principal axis. Of course, in this case it's very difficult to distinguish which is principal and which is subsidiary. So maybe just for reference, this can be kept as, say, principal axis. So now on this, definitely rotations are possible. Easily we can identify that C2 rotations are possible, and along with this 2 more perpendicular C2s, they are also present. So as you can see now, so it should not be difficult now to find these operations. See, on this C2 the molecule, it can be rotated. Now it was on this C2, and now let me rotate it on the other axis. Okay, this on the first axis itself now. Right, you consider this. So now it is on this axis, and now on the other axis. So this axis I want to rotate now. Yeah, let me rotate the molecule on this axis. So easily it can be understood. It's not that difficult that 3 C2 axis, they are present. Now along with that, so C2 perpendicular to that, two more C2s, this takes the molecule to D. Sigma H, it should exist. So here it is difficult to call one as sigma H. So everything, it looks identical. So but one particular plane, say if I take this z axis to be C2 axis, then the perpendicular plane xy plane, maybe this I can call it as sigma h, because it involves a maximum number of atoms. So therefore this is sigma h, and along with this 2 more planes, in fact they are existing. For this 2 more planes, they are existing. See, 2 more planes, they are also there. So therefore this molecule, so it goes to the point group D2H, and in D2H S2 is possible, and S2 is nothing but inversion, that we know. So even that inversion center, it can be shown. So inversion center, you can find it here. So this is the inversion center, and it's S2 operation, or S2 and the inversion, they are one and the same. So inversion has been demonstrated. So this molecule B2H6, so diborane, So it is D2H point group. Okay. Now, so last point group in this category that I am considering is D and D. This is known to be antiprismatic. So because molecules which belong to this point group, usually they will have this antiprismatic geometry. And now order in this case here also it will be 4n. Just in case of Dn point group, it was 2n. DNH was also 4n, and even D and D order of the group, it will be 4n itself, right? And now operations possible, again identity and n-1 rotations on proper axis, principal axis, perpendicular C2s, these are required to have to take the molecule to D category. Then now along with that, if we do not have sigma h, but do some other planes do exist, keep listening to my words properly. So we have this condition so that the molecule, it can be called as a D, but we have some planes, but those planes are you do not have sigma h. Horizontal plane is absent, some other planes are existing. In that case, the molecule, it can be taken to this D and D point group, right? So now operations, so these operations, they are these much operations, they are definitely essential to take the molecule to D and D. So along with that, even improper axis, alternate axis, it will be implied automatically, and order of that, it will be S2n. So what I mean to say is, say if this molecule, let me say that this is D4D, just for example, if this is D4D, D4D means proper axis, its rotation, it will be C4. In that case, the molecule, it will have S8, or if it is say D5D, then it will be having S10. So operations, different operations will be possible on that S2n axis. Even those operations, they will be possible in case of this molecule D and D. So it's little difficult to understand, but with practice and with more number of examples, we can make the things clear. Okay, the first example, very important example, usually take an example for this D and D, it is D2D, and for that allene, it will be taken as classical example. So D2D H, it should be 8, order of group, it should be 4n, therefore it should be 8, and operations which are possible, that has been listed here, E and principal axis, then along with that perpendicular C2s, those are also considered. Then sigma D planes will be there here, so n number of sigma D, so 2 planes will come. And then, as I had mentioned, if it is C2 axis, then it will be S4 axis. So on S4 axis, 2 more operations will be possible. Those will be S41 and S43. So a total of 8 operations, it will be possible in case of this molecule. Okay, allene, it can be represented in this way. Here also you should try to understand this. These 2 hydrogens, if they are in one plane, say in the plane of the paper, in this plane itself, then these 2 hydrogens, they will be exactly in a plane which is perpendicular to this plane, right? So always it's better to visualize molecule in a particular perspective to identify symmetry elements. See, now this molecule, how it can be looked at is, let's say I'm seeing the molecule from here, from this point, right? So that I'm standing here, and on my left hand side I find this hydrogen atom, and on my right hand side I find this hydrogen atom. So in that case, now you should get this imagination. So this hydrogen, it comes towards my head, and this hydrogen, it will be towards my leg. In stereochemistry, usually this methodology, it will be used, right? So that the molecule, it can be projected in say Newman projection. So these 2 hydrogens, left and right, they have been put here. Now on the rare side, if you are looking from this side, this will be towards you, this carbon atom. So that is, let's say, represented by this circle, and the rare carbon atom, you are not seeing that, right? But just 2 hydrogens which are present on those 2, they can be put like this. Now, so this is just like Newman projection. Now it should be possible for us to identify C2 axis, and this will be taken as this axis, it will be taken as C2 axis. So if all axes they are of C2 itself, then axis passing through maximum number of atoms, that will be taken as principal axis. Some other considerations are there to identify principal axis. So now by considering this fact that maximum number of atoms should come in that axis, this axis you can take it to be axis carbon 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 axis, that can be taken as C2 axis. And so on this, if I rotate the molecule by 180 degrees, say this hydrogen it comes here, this hydrogen it goes here, this comes here, this comes here, so therefore that leads the molecule to equivalent orientation. That's a symmetry element. And other C2s, easily you can identify them. See, this axis, this should be a C2 axis. If I rotate the molecule on this axis, this hydrogen goes here, this hydrogen comes here, right? So this hydrogen which is on front carbon atom, that goes to back carbon atom, and this which is on back, that will come to front. So same exchange thing, exchange business, it will happen here also. So this will be a C2. Similarly, this axis, this will also serve as C2, right? And now two more planes are possible. So those planes you can easily identify them. See this, if you pass a plane like this, so that exactly divides the molecule into two parts. So that is a plane, and this is one more plane. So by definitions, this plane, this is the plane, this is passing in between two C2s. So this is also C2, this is also C2. So this plane definitely it should be sigma d. And this axis, it will even serve as S4 axis. We shall understand this, how this axis it is S4 axis, maybe when we go to animation part, right? So just here, if at all have to explain it, see, C4 rotation if I perform on this molecule, this hydrogen it comes to this position. But this is not a symmetry operation, try to understand, because this hydrogen it's present on front carbon atom, this hydrogen it's present on back carbon atom. If I rotate the molecule by 90 degrees, this hydrogen it comes here, right? But now this will be on front carbon atom, so therefore now that will not take the molecule to equivalent orientation. Similarly, this hydrogen it comes here, this hydrogen it takes this position, but this C4 rotation that will not lead the molecule to original appearance or appearance 1. Now if along with that sigma h is applied, then front and back hydrogens they change their position. So now if at all with respect to this hydrogen, if at all I have to say that by C4 rotation, let's say it goes here, but it will be on front carbon atom. But when we apply perpendicular sigma which is on front carbon atom, that goes to back. Okay, that's how even S4 axis is existing in this molecule. So I can understand those who are understanding all these things for the first time, it's not that easy to follow. So my recommendation, so if you are not following the things, play the video in a slow mode, or just take few seconds back and play it again, and try to understand each and every word that I am saying, and then you can go to looking at the animations, so that gives a clear idea. And initially definitely this symmetry chapter it goes difficult, at least up to this point, identifying point groups. It's because it requires a lot of imagination which we will not be having, and it takes some time to cultivate the habit of imagining things in mind. But once that idea you get, then after that you start following things very easily. And one more point here itself I mentioned, keep this point in mind. So if you are finding it difficult to identify point groups, just don't leave this watching these videos there itself. So you just continue, because once this point group is done, it will be just mathematical. Even if you do not know how to identify the point group of a given molecule, it doesn't matter. So just you can follow the things later. But definitely this is important, because when we go to application part, if we have this clear knowledge of symmetry operations, then only it will be possible to apply the things. So therefore definitely this is important. But if you are taking time to understand the things, please do not leave it here itself. This is my sincere suggestion. Most of the students, they do this mistake. They stop at this level itself. They find it difficult to identify the point groups, and they just discontinue with this group theory. That should not be done. In fact, later part it is much mathematical and it can be understood very easily. So just to keep on watching videos. Fine, let's see the videos or animations on this D2D allene molecule. This is the molecule allene. So now principal axis, in this case it is easy to identify. So this CCC, it should involve maximum number of atoms. Considering that fact, this axis it can be taken as C2 axis. So this is C2 axis. Now definitely C2 operations can be performed on this molecule. It's not that difficult to visualize. So just by rotating the molecule by 180 degree, the molecule it results in equivalent orientation. It's C2 axis, and two more perpendicular C2s they are existing. See, this is one C2 on which the molecule it can be rotated to give back the molecule to original orientation. So this is a C2, and one more C2 it do exist for this molecule. See, consider this is one more. So simultaneously if I have to show all C2s, they are perpendicular to each other. All C2s, they are perpendicular to each other. Now just let me show this operation. So this is also C2. The molecule, it returns back to the original orientation. You can just open this side symmetry at order Bn and you can play with all these molecules to get better perspective. Fine. Now along with this, so one C2 and two perpendicular C2s, it will take the molecule to D category. Now we don't have sigma H in this case, because see, any C2 axis for that matter, you consider any C2 axis, say any of them. Let's say just I consider this. Now this is a C2 axis. Be very careful here. So this C2 axis, so that it bisects the angle subtended by these two hydrogens, hydrogen on this carbon atom and hydrogen on this carbon atom. So this C2 axis, whatever is the C2 axis, that C2 axis, it should bisect this angle. So that is a very important point here. So even for that matter, okay, this it's not a problem. For other two subsidiary axis, that also it should bisect the angle, then only it can serve as a C2 axis. Otherwise it's not possible that the axis it can be C2. Fine. Now I should consider planes, and planes in this case, they are dihedral planes. So dihedral planes by definition, see, they should pass in between two C2 axes. So now let me show dihedral planes. Two such planes, they are existing. See, one such plane it has been shown. It takes one carbon atom and say this carbon atom and these two hydrogens, exactly they are bisected, whereas this carbon atom, it is bisected, and two hydrogens on opposite directions. This is a sigma D because it's passing between two C2s. So this is sigma D. Two such sigma Ds, they exist for this molecule, right? And along with this S4 axis, which is very important, S4 axis, it's there for this molecule. So where that S4 axis is, so you find it here. S4 axis, it's collinear with C2 axis, principal axis. Right now we can carefully observe the things. See, by C4 rotation, this hydrogen, it comes somewhere here, and this hydrogen, it comes somewhere here. When it is reflected, then it comes to this position. That means that just C4, it is not a symmetry operation here. C4 along with sigma only, that can be said as symmetry operation. So look at the things. The molecule, okay, it stops rotation now, and then a reflection starts. So I can show it for one more time. Maybe from this angle also you can view that. So rotations, clockwise as well as anti-clockwise rotations, both are considered to be identical. So it's 90-degree rotation, further sigma operation on this plane, that gives the molecule back equivalent orientation. Therefore in this case it is C2 axis, and along with C2 axis S4, it is collinear. So the molecule, it goes to the point group D2D. Okay, the other example for this is D5D. It's ferrocene in its staggered conformation. So ferrocene, say this front carbon atom and this back carbon atom, if they are making an angle of 36 degree, I am repeating it again, that will give you staggered conformation of this molecule. Now that will go to D5D point group. So order of this group, it should be 20. So 5 into 4, so total 20 operations should be possible. So which are those 20 operations? Have been listed here. So in fact 5 operations, they are possible on S itself. Improper axis S10, it will be possible here. So on that itself. So remaining, it's not that difficult. So proper axis C5, we have 5 operations including identity there, and then it is a D, therefore it should have 5 perpendicular C2s, and even 5 sigma D should be possible. So total this makes 15, and on improper it will be 5 more, so total of 20. So here just I have indicated this just indication, all symmetry elements, they have not been identified. So C5 and S10, they will be collinear, they will be passing through iron atom, and so here I can say that it is projecting towards you and away from you, that is the axis, right? And C2, see, one such C2, it has been identified. If I can rotate the molecule by 180 degrees on this axis, so this is passing through iron atom, and it's perpendicular to this original proper axis, the molecule it can be brought back to identical orientation. Therefore 5 such C2s, one it has been indicated, 5 such C2s are possible. And sigma d, see this, if you can find this plane, it will be a sigma d for the a molecule. So it's because say this passes in between this plane, it passes in between C2. See one more C2, in this way it can be identified here. So from here to here it will be one more C2. So this plane it passes in between two C2s, so therefore the plane it will be sigma d. So ferrocene in its staggered conformation it will be d phi d. We shall see this in animation so that things will be clear to us. This is the molecule staggered ferrocene. So as you can see, both the rings, they are in staggered orientation. So this carbon atom, it is coming exactly in between the back two, at the center of two back carbon atoms. Now C5 axis easily can be identified, it's not that difficult. So now C5 axis, on this axis if the molecule it can be rotated, it will give us identical orientation, see, or even clockwise rotation. So therefore it's C5 axis. Along with this, this is a D category, which means that n number of perpendicular C2s should be there. So all C2s, I can show them simultaneously like this. So all this, they are C2s. Just one, if I want to keep, say I can keep this one. And now just look at the things on this molecule. On this axis, C2 axis, the molecule it can be rotated to get identical orientation. So this is a C2 rotation. So 5 such C2s are existing. Therefore this molecule it will go to D. Now next, now if it was eclipsed, then it had sigma H. So if it was eclipsed, then exactly at the back we will find we would have found a carbon atom, and then sigma H would have existed. But sigma H we don't have now. But what we have is still definitely we have some planes. So those planes which are present in this case, those are sigma Ds. So one such plane, if at all I have to identify, so just look at this plane. So I can clearly say that this is a sigma D by considering the other appropriate C2 axis. Okay, right, consider this. So now if you can see, this is one C2 and there is one more such C2, and between these two this plane it is passing, therefore this is sigma D for this molecule. So along with this, even S10 operation is possible. Just one operation on S10 axis I show. So S10, exactly how many operations are possible, that should be worked out. 5 different operations will be possible on S10. Out of that one, that is S10 5, that will also be I, right? But let me just show you one of the operation that is possible on S10, and let me just take back all other planes and all. Okay, now so what you can see is in this case, so the C5 axis, that is even S10 axis. So how, just we shall look at the things. So the molecule it is rotating by an angle, and then it is reflecting back. So you should view it from the appropriate position, then maybe we can understand. See S10, so S10 it should refer to 36-degree rotation. So that will be C10, and then followed by reflection in horizontal plane. So maybe you can just go to this site and you can convince yourself that all these operations which have been mentioned, they do really exist for these molecules. And this molecule staggered ethane, it will go to D5D. Okay, so in summary, what we have done today is, so we are still in molecules with high symmetry itself. So in the previous video, molecules with high symmetry, proper axis, but no perpendicular C2s, those things were discussed. In this video, molecules with high symmetry, there is Cn axis, and along with that n number of perpendicular C2s, they are also present. So such point groups we are considering, and such they are known as D point groups. So now, if only that much, that is principal axis and perpendicular C2s, and no other symmetry things, symmetry elements, then it will be Dn. And if say Cn and perpendicular C2s, along with that a sigma H is present, this sigma H, it should be perpendicular to this. So if that is present, definitely the molecule it will go to DNH point group. And we have planes, but that planes we cannot say that to be sigma h. There are some other planes. In that case, definitely those planes, they will be sigma d planes, and therefore in that case, if sigma h is absent but some planes are still present, then in that case the molecule definitely it will be D and D. And we have seen examples for Dn D3 case. This tris ethylene diamine cobalt complex was seen, and ferrocene in its Q conformation was taken as example for Dn. And for Dnd allene and D5D, last it was discussed, and for DNH, D3H BF3 example, D2H diborane, these were taken as example. And one important hint, this will be definitely very useful in competitive exams. See, whenever we have molecules like ethane, ferrocene, where these free rotations can be considered, take the molecule to eclipse conformation, staggered conformation, skew conformation, and so on. Whenever we have such kind of molecules, of course, there can be different examples for this. And even allene molecule or some other molecules, they can be visualized from this perspective. Whenever this perspective is possible, that the molecules, it can be rotated to make staggered eclipsed conformation, then always you remember, if that possibility is there, then the molecule, it will belong to this D itself. It will go to this point group, which can mainly said to be D. Then further, if it is eclipse conformation, whether it is ethane eclipsed, ferrocene eclipsed, or the say other example, if at all have to give Re2Cl2 minus, Re2Cl2 minus delta bonding that compound. So that compound, all those things, if they are in eclipse conformation, that will be DNH. If they are in staggered conformation, ethane staggered, ferrocene staggered, or any other molecule that can be said that it is in staggered conformation, that will be definitely DND. And any other angle, it's not eclipse, it's not staggered, any other thing, it can be said to be Dn. So this will be very important. Otherwise, here usually in the beginning, if you are just studying symmetry for the first time, we miss this perpendicular C2s in this kind of molecules. So therefore, this is important. So wherever this is possible, eclipse, staggered, skew, wherever that is possible, definitely it will be D. And if it is eclipse, it will be DNH, staggered DND, and any other conformation, it will be Dn. Hope this video, it has helped you in understanding few more point groups. If you have liked this video, you can give like, and for new videos, fresh notifications, you can press bell icon for that. If you are not subscribed, first do subscribe to the channel and share this video with your friends. So thank you for watching this video. Thank you again.